What is up, folks? This, of course, is the Daily Vlog Live. This is the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel, and welcome to another show. It is Wednesday. It is August 15th, and we are all recovering right now from all the Star VR drama. I do have an apology to make. There's going to be some background noise for maybe 10-15 minutes. My lawnmower guy is here. He arrived perfect time. You guys arrived at 11 a.m. He arrived at 11 a.m. Normally, dude is here at 10 and he's gone, or 10:30 and he's gone. But of course, he wanted to arrive for the show. Kev Gret is saying, is it Friday yet? Not quite. We got a little ways to go there. SAMIK81, good evening. What is up? Chris Cox in the building. Mick Lovin is in the building. No, I'm sorry, Mick Wilson is in the building. And he's got a game to recommend. Well, go ahead, Lance. You can go ahead and drop that game on us. Yeah, Job is attacking. Job is in the building. Well, actually, he's outside the building on the perimeter. You might hear some noise in a minute here. Asterix Gaming is in the house. Chris Cox. Have I shown him VR? No, not yet. So I don't want to, because then he'll turn into a madman, right? Lance McWilson says, my dad and I live in different states, but we both have HP Windows mixed reality headsets. We are always looking for a good co-op VR title. My dad found this one. Check it out, coming spring. Noah, what's up? Noah's in the building as well. So one of the things I want to get to, guys, before we get too far along on today's episode is I think we should probably talk about the Star VR situation, because yesterday it was all breaking like right when we were doing this show. We were partway into the show. The information started to leak out. It was kind of a bit of a shit show yesterday. I'm not going to lie. Looking back, it was kind of boring. Now, when all of it was happening, it was exciting, but, you know, scrambling, trying to find information on it. Now we have more information, and I gotta say, there's some really unfortunate news. And so let me go ahead and throw a comment that I saw. Let me throw this on the screen real quick. And this is the comment in one of the Reddit threads. It says, unfortunately, based on the press release, it's a commercial sector product. Yeah, that is the big downer that is going on, because I've read a lot of Star VR based information over the last, say, I don't know, 20 hours or whatever. And it seems to be pointing very, very, very specifically towards this is not a consumer product. Regular people are not going to be able to buy this product at least for 8 months, probably, maybe a year from today, maybe fall 2019, we will be able to buy this product as a regular consumer, but it looks to be a commercial sector product straight up. And let's see, I do have a little Star VR montage that I will throw on real quick here, and we can kind of go over some of the basics. So yeah, yesterday we saw this, made for visionaries. I think this was kind of our first clue that this was not going to be something for consumers. On the website, of course, Star VR 1, you get this image here. They're talking about crystal clear images, proprietary AMOLED display, custom designed Fresnel lenses, hopefully with less grooves, but the full RGB per pixel arrangement, that is the big deal right there. That's what PSVR enjoys, less SDE. 210 natural field of view, 210 degree horizontal, 130 vertical, natural peripheral vision, and then power in every gaze, seamlessly integrated with Tobii eye tracking technology, an auto IPD measurement. Of course, we knew that there was going to be two models, Star VR 1, which uses Steam VR Tracking 2.0, and Star VR 1 XT, which is designed more for optical, high-end optical tracking systems, like in a VR arcade kind of a scenario, or location-based VR entertainment centers. Here's another look at the headset here. We can see 3 cables that do come out from it. I believe 2 of them are for like DisplayPort, the other one probably USB or something like that. Steam VR Tracking 2.0 and the scalable optical tracking. Both are available, but this does appear to be 100% designed for like high-end commercial applications. I have some loud sound that is going to pop in right out here. Yeah, that's the blower. He's blowing right by my door there. But yeah, it does have the rigid strap. We can see it has the rigid strap where it locks in. We see the super wide field of view. And we don't have much to go on here. And honestly, the trailer that Star VR had that we just saw was like 25 seconds of trailer footage. No sound whatsoever, at least none that I could see. And then, of course, we did have this little video here where this guy's kind of walking around and talking about it. And we see it on his head. And one of the good things that we do know about this headset is, I call it the Hammerhead Shark era, but the way they've designed this, they've kind of compacted it a bit. It doesn't look quite as Hammerhead Shark as, say, the Pimax does. So that's what we're looking at here. But the bottom line is, it's not a consumer product, at least not initially. Also, the price may be absolutely through the stratosphere. That is the other thing that we might be looking at here. I've heard predictions that this is going to fall somewhere between $2,000 and $10,000. $2,000 and $10,000. So basically, like, the cheapest you're ever going to see this thing is $2,000, and it could go up to $10,000. That's what I've heard. I don't know that I necessarily believe that. We obviously have the, is it the Varejo headset or whatever, that's supposed to be $5,000. What's the other one where it has the little screen within a screen concept with super high resolution? That one's going to be like $5,000, right? This one could be $3,000. You know, the XT model could be $3,000. The regular model could be $2,500. We have no idea what the deal is here. It's unfortunate because this really was a teaser. It looked like a product that maybe could have been consumer. In fact, I commented at one point and said, this is such an overproduced product if it's 100% meant to be for VR arcades and VR-based location centers and for the commercial industry. It almost looks overproduced to me. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to have a really nice, slick headset. And maybe this is Acer's play, this new company. Maybe this is their play to really try to dial in. See, there we're seeing it on his head. Not so much of a hammerhead shark. I mean, it is a bit of a hammerhead shark there, but not as much as, say, Pimax. But this could be their play to really dominate the VR arcade scene and to have a product that has Steam VR tracking, this incredible field of view, the auto IPD adjustment. What about that? Do you guys wonder about that? Are you concerned about that? The auto IPD? That always concerns me, you know, because Windows Mixed Reality, it has a software-based IPD system. PlayStation VR has a software-based IPD system. And personally, for me, I ideally like the ability to physically move my screens. It's going to get loud here. Oh, maybe just turned it off. I like the ability to physically move my screens and really dial in my IPD perfectly. But Crunchy in chat, he says auto IPD is helpful in the commercial arena. It absolutely is. It's incredibly helpful. Not having to like physically change the IPD every time, absolutely. It's not even a question. Noah says, so the headset looks amazing. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good considering this is like human field of view here. You know, it basically covers our entire human field of view, which that is freaking super impressive. Yeah, Hybrid Energy says, I am concerned. I'm always double checking mine on the Vive 2. It seems to change itself on the Vive Pro. Drives me nuts. Watches my comments slowly rise up chat until it disappears. Yeah, Anthony, let's check it. Yeah, that does happen. See, here's the thing. I have like maybe, I don't know, the last 11 chat messages right here that I see right here. Now, I can pop out chat. I can pop it like it's hot. I can pop out chat and I get this other little window over here that I can then scroll up and down, and I can check old messages. For example, Scion VR says, not consumer, going to cry in a corner. Crunchy says, where do the headphones go? That's the other thing. You kind of have to put the headphones up and around it, which that is really going to suck. Let's see. Charles Van Nolan says, I think the only way they can widen the field of view without hammerhead form factor is by developing concave displays. Yeah, that is the future. Bendable displays, so we don't have to go hammerhead shark styly. So anyway, so yeah, we're back over to kind of caught up to chat. But yeah, that does kind of suck. I only see like the last 10 or so messages. That's kind of the way it is. But I'm disappointed, guys. I thought this could be an incredible thing, because just imagine not having that tunnel vision and just being able to see everywhere. Although the other thing I was reading about this too is developers, like, for it to really, really work, developers need to dial their games in for this. Like, it's not going to be an automatic thing. So Star VR and anybody that wants to use this in an arcade situation, they're going to have to go to Vertigo Games, maker of Arizona Sunshine, and they're going to have to say, hey, can you guys kind of dial your game in for our Star VR 1 headset? So I don't know that we would be able to, even if you could somehow get your hands on this, the one with the Steam VR tracking, and you try to use this in your own house, I'm not sure that you're really going to see all the benefit that this is looking at. Too, the other thing here, this requires a 1080. It doesn't include the virtual link cable. Crunchy says the new cards aren't for this. This doesn't have the virtual link cable. But you could have two 1080s and you could do SLI with this, where each 1080 is driving an individual panel inside the headset. That's if you want maximum resolution. And it's kind of funny too that the resolution of this headset is actually lower than the previous Star VR version. They actually dropped the resolution, but they did get up from 62 hertz to 90. So they dropped the resolution a little bit, but they got up to 90 hertz. So that is a bit of a nice situation there. Yeah, no virtual link cable yet. I did hear some talk though that they were saying that one of the Quadro cards, one of these brand new cards that NVIDIA is coming out with, is actually almost kind of like meant to work with this in a certain way. I don't know if you need two of them to go really nuts on it. It does have the eye tracking, foveated rendering in the Belding, which is super awesome. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to look at this thing, and we're going to have to look at it from the outside. We're going to have to wait until this arrives at like IMAX arcades or any kind of location-based VR center, and have to wait and see how this works. Or, you know what? Go ahead, start your own VR arcade, so you can possibly order one of these things for $3,000. But we have some other stuff to get into. We can always go ahead and jump back into Star VR a little bit later. We do have some game trailers to take a look at. There is some new game trailer stuff that is going on. And I thought, why don't we go ahead and take a look at Unearthing Mars 2. Now, this is shown up on PSVR subreddit. I'm going to pump the volume on this a little bit. We'll check it out.
And I've thought about it every single day.
Co-pilot, are you okay?
It's not the same without Catherine.
Then let's begin. Activate.
How many people die in this war? Why are we the ones who must perish?
Because I understand. How exactly?
My mouthpiece.
All of you. Don't stop moving. Let's move.
Pretty long trailer. You know, I mean, the visuals look pretty good. This is supposed to be PSVR. The visuals look really good, but again, with trailers, we've seen it a million times. How many times have we seen trailers that looked freaking incredible, and then we actually get the game and it really doesn't look anything like the trailer, or it looks just a tiny bit like it, but incredibly like smeared with Vaseline, pixelated to hell and back. This is Unearthing Mars 2. Now, the first Unearthing Mars did not get very good reviews at all. Now, this is AIM compatible. It's actually designed kind of with the AIM in mind. And that's the one cool thing about the AIM controller. A lot of people are really getting behind the AIM controller, even third parties. I mean, look at Firewall 0 Hour. We already know about Bravo Team, Farpoint, Brookhaven Experiment, I believe Dick Wild, Doom VFR. There are a lot of games on PSVR that use the PlayStation AIM controller and use it to good effect. And this appears to be another one like that. It looks pretty good, but I've always heard the regular Unearthing Mars is garbage, but they could have improved this by absolute leaps and bounds, the second version. This looks more like a full-featured game, like it's really trying to be something. And I think, I have to go back and check, but I think this thing is coming like September or something. So this is coming up pretty damn quick. This Unearthing Mars 2 is completely out of the blue. We didn't know this was coming this quickly.
Don't stop moving. Let's do it.
Simpson, listen. We have to shut down the ARC device.
Simpson. Yeah, so anyway, I mean, that is Unearthing Mars 2. It does look pretty good. I'd have to double check, but I think it's coming like in September. Don't know what the price is on that. Honestly, most likely this would be something that might hit PSVR for a little while and then make it to Vive and Rift. It looks like a very polished high-end experience that could make its way to the Vive and Rift. Obviously, you don't have the AIM controller. That's why it's almost like I kind of wish Oculus, if Oculus created a really cool gun that you could buy for $99.99 and like pumped it up and featured it in a lot of their games, I think we could have a really cool peripheral like that for PC gaming, you know, where a lot of developers get behind it, a lot of developers use it. That's one of the advantages of PSVR right now is this AIM controller. There's a lot of games that actually take advantage of it, and I'm planning on getting Firewall 0 Hour in the AIM bundle. Paradise Decay says, how many games does the PSVR have that use the AIM controller? I believe like 6, 7, 8, something like that. I know Doom uses it. Farpoint uses it. Bravo Team, of course, uses it. Brookhaven uses it. Dick Wild uses it. This game's going to use it. And I think there might be a couple of others, but it seems like it is getting some good support there. Lance McWilson says, looks a lot more polished than Downward Spiral or a Station, which, you know, it's interesting. That's one game I've never checked that out. I've never checked out Downward Spiral or a Station. That is one of those games that has fallen through the cracks. I think I got Red Matter right around the same time that game came out, and I was totally blown away by Red Matter. But here's a game, Downward Spiral, not getting a lot of pub. They didn't give out a lot of codes. Like, I tried to get a code for it, didn't get a code. I don't know, Paradise, did you ever play Downward Spiral? What was your thoughts on that? Arizona Sunshine uses it as well. Yeah, Arizona Sunshine is using the AIM controller as well. But anyway, that's a new trailer. I just thought it was kind of cool. We did finally get a new trailer to take a look at. And I think I have another... There's another new trailer that we can check out real quick. This one is coming to Vive and Oculus, and it's called The Spy Who Shrunk Me. So let's go ahead and check this. Catland.
My name is Audrey. Audrey Smooth Spy. I'm on a mission to Moscow. The plan is to infiltrate a software company and to figure out what they're hiding inside. Little did I know, my problems were about to become larger than expected. Fortunately, no such thing as a setback for a woman of my stature.
So that looks pretty good. Upload VR has a preview on this game where they talk about this game, and one of the comparisons that they make with this game is it's like Budget Cuts and I Expect You to Die. You know, those two VR games. It's kind of like they had a baby. Budget Cuts and I Expect You to Die had a baby, and that's this game here. I don't know why it's black for so long. Okay, Catland, Step into Wonder. This is the developer, and you can kind of see here with the art style. It kind of has that like 1960s, you know, spy cartoony kind of a look. That looks a lot Budget Cuts right there. This looks very Budget Cuts. You got the cubicles and stuff. You're kind of sneaking around. So it does appear to be a stealth game, but then it appears at certain points in time you kind of get into these situations that are kind of like I Expect You to Die, like, you know, manipulating things and doing different things. You got your little gun there, you're sneaking on the ground. Kind of an Incredibles art style a little bit. Like the characters kind of almost look a little bit like they're from the Incredibles. You get to shrink people down. That looks pretty fun. So yeah, this looks pretty good. This is a game we didn't really know much about coming out of the blue. It is coming in 2018.
For a woman of my stature.
Agent Audrey Smooth Spy in The Spy Who Shrunk Me. PC and VR 2018. So I guess they're saying you can play this flat style as well. And it does have the Steam logo. So that is another one to look forward to as my lawnmower guy continues to bang away out there. I don't know how much that noise is coming through. Reminds me of Duke Nukem with the shrinking weapon. Crunchy says both of those games were so underrated. Oh, I think he's talking maybe about Budget Cuts and I Expect You to Die. It does have, yeah, that No One Lives Forever. It definitely has that No One Lives Forever vibe. And No One Lives Forever was like super popular back in the days and when that came out. Crunchy says, I think there was a VR mod for No One Lives Forever. Apologies again for the noise outside right now, actually. So why don't I go ahead? Well, I can give you a little bit of volume on this trailer, and I'm going to just check and see if there's any brand new news stories before we get into our next topic. Let's see here. Yeah, The Spy Who Shrunk Me looks like No One Lives Forever VR. Uploadvr.com. That is what we're watching right now.
Fortunately,
Let me go back to the
no
Oculus
such thing
subreddit.
as a setback for a woman of my stature.
And just trying to stall until the noise is not as bad in the back. All right, well, anyway, we could go ahead and move on to something else. I do have, well, let me check chat real quick here. Hybrid Energy says, cubicles, ducking, and stealth, just like Budget Cuts. Are you ready for cursing at that wired cable again, Anthony? Yeah, that's one of the main reasons I haven't gotten back into Budget Cuts too much is because of that cable, and then also just got absolutely hammered with a million other games as well. Oh, Kev Gret says, can you send your landscaper to my house next? I'm in New Jersey, thanks. Yeah, he'd have to take a flight over there real quick. No One Lives Forever has a VR mod. Sweet Viber made a video of it. Okay, well, what I wanted to do is I want to go ahead and get into the next little story that we have. And so this is on the Vive subreddit, this topic here. Let me actually go back to the Vive subreddit. I'll read off what it is, and then we can go into the video. Okay, so the second highest story on the Vive subreddit right now is this omnidirectional VR treadmill. And I went ahead and grabbed the video that they had there and then also made another little montage of it. So let's go ahead and explore these treadmills. Let's listen to this guy real quick.
This is the only one that's commercially available in the UK, not Europe. It's built by a company called Omnifinity, who are based in Sweden, and they've been developing this for the last 10 years for the Special Forces. Well, they want to take infantrymen who've been trained, bring them to the various divisions, and then get them experiencing different types of scenarios, and this allows them to freely move through that space, and they can run a number of configurations and scenarios and to test out their tactics and that kind of stuff. Essentially, what we have is a Vive. You might want to step off the rollers though, because otherwise you're walking with me. So we have 2 Vive sensors which track the headset. That's connected to the Omnifinity's software, which interprets that and allows your character to move around Unity, giving you free movement to walk around. So, for example, we walk in this direction. The rollers here are powered individually, so as you walk forward, they get faster. So the idea is that you can then transition through an environment without having to worry about a controller. You can move freely, you can walk up to objects, and as you get more and more experience, you can really move around at pace. So here we're actually walking into the trees. We can change direction and walk in this direction over here, for example. And the kind of thing in this particular demo we've been looking at is...
Yeah, so that looks really cool. So I didn't know anything about this. So apparently there's this company. They're called Omnidirectional. They're called Omni Infinity. And it's a Swedish company. And they basically have been working on this type of thing for 10 years. And what they were working on it for was the military. And the military was, like this guy explained, if you watch this full video, he's saying that there's other videos out there where they're like running, jumping, doing all kinds of crazy stuff on this thing, because it was designed for the military so that they could practice different things and stay together and like practice these different scenarios. And then so I did some Google searches, Omni Infinity, looked at their company, their logo and all this. These are some pictures. That's kind of its unassembled, what it looks like here. And then they have a little video on it as well where they show this guy walking on this thing. And so basically it has all these different rollers, and all the different rollers can be powered to go in different directions at different speeds, and it can kind of somehow keep you on this circular platform so you don't go too far. And the really nice thing about this is it does look like you can kind of walk with a relatively normal gait, which that is really the critical thing here, is like we want to be able to walk where we feel like we're just walking like normal. And so now this is not going to be any kind of a consumer product anytime in the near future. This is straight up, this company Omni Infinity, like they basically were doing this for the military. That was their main thing. But they see the potential with VR, and they know there is a market for this. We have, of course, Infinideck, we got all these different companies. Everybody is trying to solve this problem. This is a really huge problem. We're going to have to solve this problem. There's no getting around it. If we want the Ready Player One future that we're all dreaming about, we got to figure out a way where we can walk in place and have a normal, natural gait. And that's absolutely mission critical. So this does look cool. But of course, when you saw the video there, like if I turned up the noise a lot, you hear the noise of the machine. It makes quite a bit of noise. Now, if you're in VR and you got some headphones on and the VR game is blasting you with tremendous sound, you probably won't really hear the rollers moving around and stuff, but it is a bit of an issue, So, but he's walking around pretty well there. and we've seen some other videos. I just wonder, like, what does it feel to your feet when that is happening? Do you feel like you really have to push hard and do that? Oh, SAMIK81 says, can Usain Bolt run on that? I doubt it. It's on YouTube if you Google the Gadget Show omnidirectional treadmill. What is on Google? Let me look at that. The Gadget Show omnidirectional treadmill. Okay, let me check that out. The Gadget omnidirectional. Look that up. Man, the lawnmower guy's still here. Okay, looking. Yeah, the lawnmower guy, man, he had to arrive. Seriously, he had to arrive at the exact time that I'm starting my show here. Yeah, there is some video on the Gadget Show. This is like from, this video is like 4 years ago or something. Yeah, this is way back in 2011. Oh my goodness. The Ultimate Battlefield 3 simulator. So, oh yeah, you know what? I do remember this video from forever and a day ago. Yeah, I remember this way back. Yeah, I'm not going to grab this video. It's too long and it'll take too much time. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool. Again, you know, we saw Disney is working on a moving floor. Infinidec is working on it. A lot of other companies are working on it. So at least they solved the grandma walking. Yeah, that's pretty much we've solved a slow grandmother walking. If you're a slow grandmother and you walk incredibly slow, this is going to give you a super accurate simulation of that. Why doesn't someone invent a system built into shoes? What do you mean? Well, remember there was that crazy thing that was on Mythbusters where they were going to make these shoes that actually like propel you backwards as you walk or something, which is so freaking crazy. That would be super crazy. But anyway, I just thought this was kind of cool. Let's see, what else can we go to? Yeah, you know, that's pretty much it. That's what I had here for pre-rolling content. Yeah, like roller skates. So what about Vroom Kaboom? Did anybody try this out yesterday? This game, Vroom Kaboom, you know, free to play. I mean, I told Steven Sales, I don't know if he's in chat, but I told him, dude, might as well download this. Has anybody tried this? I still think this is cool. I just don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just don't know the freaking controls of this. But I was curious if anybody might have tried Vroom Kaboom. If anybody might have tried that. IPCSK says just downloaded it, but he hasn't tried it yet. Paradise Decay says, I did. I made a video today as well. Well, so what do you think about it, Paradise? Like, were you ever able to figure out, like, all the controls? Did you actually know what the hell you were doing? Because he says, I enjoyed it, had no issues on the Rift. But what about, like, when you hit certain buttons and it just rewinds you, like, way the hell back, and then it's like, wait a minute, how do I get back to my car? Like, I couldn't figure out all the controls and stuff. I will admit that I didn't, like, take a lot of time to try to figure out the controls, but it seemed kind of complicated, or maybe the tutorial just didn't do an extremely good job. But I still want to go back and screw with it. I still had fun with it. Logan68 says he downloaded it, but no time to play it yet, and IPCSK is way too busy with Skyrim. But yeah, so Paradise said he picked it up straight away. Oh, you picked up all the controls and everything? Huh, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't. I mean, I was steering my car and all of that. I was grabbing those little indicators. But other than that, I kind of didn't know what the heck was going on. It was like multiple cars, all kinds of stuff. All right, so let me go ahead and let's check some of these subreddits and see what's going on today. On the Vive subreddit, they are talking about The Spy Who Shrunk Me. They're talking about the omnidirectional VR treadmill. We've pretty much covered all of that. They're still talking about Star VR 1. I wonder if everybody realizes that that's not a consumer product at all. You know, that is not a consumer product at all. Do people realize that? You know, one of the stories that is out there is HTC stock. This one guy, he did a post about HTC stock that it hasn't been this low for over 15 years, and that they have been operating at a loss for 13 straight quarters. Let me throw on like a little HTC trailer while we're on the subject of it. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Is HTC about to die? That would kind of suck. I mean, although if another company came in and took it over, the right company, it might actually be the best thing that could ever possibly happen. I'm trying to find where my HTC Vive video is. That is kind of like the standard HTC Vive video that we've all seen a million times. But yeah, I mean, the stock is at like a 15-year low. They've had 13 straight quarters of just disaster. Are they just going to completely abandon mobile phones altogether and just go 100% into... here's the old Vive trailer. Finally found it. Took long enough. Yeah, so here's the old original HTC Vive trailer that we all know and love from a million years ago. But let me go back to this thread and see what they're saying here. So yeah, 13 straight quarters of losses, lowest the stock has been in 15 years. The number one response here is HTC has about $700 million in liabilities that they need to pay down this quarter, and about $900 million cash in hand, and they are losing $100 million per quarter. And he's saying if they sell off the remnants of their mobile division today, they could probably stay afloat with about $400 million in cash. And even if VR isn't profitable, I doubt they would be losing more than, say, $20 million per quarter, so they could survive for several years. So this guy has it all broken down. He knows exactly what's going on. So it does appear that HTC could survive for a while if they sell off their mobile division, concentrate on VR. The question is, I mean, I wouldn't be a buyer in this company because the biggest problem with HTC, their customer service is absolutely god-awful. I feel like their management just isn't that good. I'm sorry, I'm just not a believer in HTC as a company. They're what we have, and I bought an HTC right away. I had a Vive in April of 2016. It was the first VR headset I ever had, and I was completely blown away by the Vive, and it was awesome. But the company itself, it's so unfortunate to me that Steam had to get into bed with this company. It's just, I just don't think they're a very well-run company, and whether they sacrifice their mobile division or not, I don't see a lot changing here, and I think the competition is just going to get so much more fierce for them. They could try to concentrate on VR, but the competition in this arena is just going to be out of control. Hybrid Energy says $100 million a quarter. VR isn't going to cover that. They just need to keep downsizing because they have been beat in the phone sector. But what that guy is saying is that if they dumped their entire mobile division and moved completely away from mobile, that they wouldn't actually be losing $100 million a quarter. They'd be losing more likely $20 million a quarter, and they'd have $400 million in cash, which means they could survive for a while. So, Roy Schwartz is setting up his computer situation. I might need some help setting this beast up. Yeah, it is going to be a bit difficult. Like going from a console-based environment to a PC-based environment, you are probably going to struggle with a lot of little stuff here. Yep, selling off the phone sector would be downsizing. I thought there were going to be others adopting Steam VR for consumers. What happened to them? Crunchy is saying, yeah, I thought there were going to be other Steam VR headsets. We all thought that. We remember when Gabe was sitting at that table there and they had that interview, and he was talking about headsets that would be coming out in 2018, having way more resolution. He even mentioned headsets that would be running at like 200 hertz instead of 90 hertz. Like, whatever happened to that? Has anybody ever heard of a VR headset that is going to run at more than 120 frames per second? I haven't, and so, but that was one of the things that he talked about. We thought we would get a lot more Steam VR headsets. We haven't really had that. Now, of course, this Star VR is going to be a Steam VR headset, kind of, but it's unfortunately not for consumer market. Pimax is going to be Steam VR, and that is for the commercial market, but unfortunately probably not a very good company either. So will HTC survive long term? That is to be determined, but they are talking about that a little bit. One of the things they're talking about on the Oculus subreddit is leaning in VR. I don't know if you guys seen this. I should have copied this picture and then I could have popped this in the chat, but if I did it right now, what it'll do is it'll screw up my stream, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that. But basically what they're talking about is this there's a problem in VR where if you're playing like Pavlov or any kind of a game, Arctica 1 or anything where you're shooting a gun or you're in some kind of environment and you're kind of sneaking around and you're shooting a gun, that if you peek, you think you're peeking your head around the corner, but in the VR game, it's almost like your whole entire body is moving around the corner. And so he's saying that VR first-person shooter developers, please fix this. That's what they're talking about here, is that developers need to fix this by making an adjustment in our spine, basically, so that we can peek around the corner with our heads, but the VR, the first-person shooter game, doesn't feel like it's our entire body peeking around the corner. That's what they're talking about on the very top of the Oculus Rift subreddit there. So you can check that out. They're also talking about a 5K, another new headset, 5K 170-degree field of view, XTAL VR headset. I can actually go ahead and grab this trailer. I did not grab this trailer. After the disappointment with Star VR not being consumer, I was just kind of disappointed in general. And it's funny, this is an Upload VR trailer, so I'm going to have to give pub to Upload VR. But it's funny, after you find out about this 210 field of view, you know, completely covering your entire vision and all of that, you find out about that, it's like 170, like, who wants 170 now? You know, who wants half dome and they're 140 now? We want this full deal, you know, we want the 210 degrees. So I'll try to grab this video for this other headset. It is called the XTAL VR headset, 5K, 170 degrees. I really don't know anything about this. VR engineers. Haven't looked into this one much, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on at SIGGRAPH 2018. In fact, Google is there, and they're talking about their light fields, and they're improving some of their light field technology. Hybrid Energy says 5K sounds awesome enough, though. Yeah, I mean, 5K would be an incredible improvement over what we have now. Absolutely. Okay, let me go ahead and see if I can get this trailer. Yeah, so this is a quick hands-on that Upload VR has. I don't know how well produced this trailer is from an audio standpoint. Let's listen in for a little bit here.
Motion hand tracking built into the headset, as well as voice recognition, open map.
It's got leap motion hand tracking, which is pretty sweet. They got a Vive tracker right on the top of it, though. So it doesn't have its own tracking.
Changing color.
Change color.
Changing color.
Change wheels.
Changing wheels.
Voice commands. That would suck. Imagine trying to play a driving game like that. Fuck that noise. I gotta hold something in my hand. Like that whole, remember the Nintendo Wii era where you would use two Nintendo Wiimotes to like drive a car? Like that doesn't work. And also you can't have a steering wheel. Remember the Nintendo Wii steering wheel? You put two Nintendo Wii sticks and it was just a steering wheel that you turn like this, but it wasn't connected to anything. I mean, come on, after 5 minutes your arms would be so tired.
Start motor. There we go.
It's got that rigid head strap in the back, very similar to Star VR.
Yeah. And what?
Change color.
The front of it kind of reminds me of, you know, that one VR experience. What is it? Irrational, something prologue. Irrational or something, irrational exuberance or something like that. You know, where you're in that cave and you're knocking off those little pieces of it. Like the very front of the headset kind of has that little cool design to it. But this is definitely hammerhead shark territory right here. That's 170-degree field of view, but it is pretty freaking huge. Look at this thing. I mean, you could tell that that's probably weighing down on that guy's head, to be sure. But it does. I like the idea of having leap motion built in from an arcade gaming perspective. I could imagine being in a gaming arcade where you have leap motion on your headset built in, and so you look around and there might be a table right there and there's a gun, and so you see your hands in the experience, and then you pick up a physical gun, and the physical gun has like a kick and everything, and it's tracked and everything as well, and so you have your physical hands, but you're grabbing actual props and using them as well. I think that would be kind of cool. But I mean, that's definitely Hammerhead Shark like none other. That is very much Hammerhead action. So the era of the Hammerhead Shark hath begun. All right, that is some new headset there. Didn't really look at the details of it. I don't know. Honestly, I'm not really taking that very seriously. I just don't know that that's going to be like anything to get worried about. So let me go ahead and just throw on a random trailer here while we check out some other news. I'll throw on this little looking glass display trailer, which is something completely different. We have MRTV in the building. Sebastian is in the building. I have just tested the X-Tau. What do you think, Sebastian? 170-degree field of view. Was it heavy? Because it looked heavy as hell on that guy's head there. I guess I'll throw that trailer back on since we have Sebastian in the building and he's actually tried it. What did I do with that video? Now I can't find it. Okay, one sec. Did you try the Star VR, Sebastian? That's what we want to know. Are you in Vancouver? Is this at SIGGRAPH? Noah's back in the building. Noah, have they flown you out to Magic Leap yet? Sebastian says, image clarity is truly amazing. Okay, so 5K. I mean, maybe we should take this Hammerhead seriously. What do you think about like the FOV and everything? Like, I think you've tried Pimax, right? How would you compare it to that? So we'll wait and see what he has to say about that. Sebastian was in Prague yesterday. Okay, so that's probably at some European thing that he checked this out. Dude is a world traveler. But they do have that Vive tracker on the top of it, so like it doesn't have its own tracking system. What is that little knob on the side there? That little purple knob on the side, and then there's like the purple connector in the back, so that must just be part of the styling. Noah is saying they will end of August or beginning of September. He is going to be going, it's like Willy Wonka. He's going to go to the chocolate factory, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, Magic Leap in the end of August or beginning of September. The hype on Magic Leap has fallen off a bit, obviously, since it's already been out. But I absolutely want to see Magic Leap, no question about it. Definitely want to see it. But yeah, so that is this new headset. I really haven't looked much into it. So anyways, I'll go to some other trailer. Let me just grab something. I'll just throw this Joshua Bell thing on. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to jump back in and we'll jump back into the news. Let me go to Road to VR, see what stories they got going on. See if there's any other new tidbits to talk about. They're, of course, talking about Star VR 1. They're talking about that again. They're talking about the Quadro RTX, the first graphics card to include Virtual Link. So not much going on at Road to VR. I'm going to double back to Upload VR just to double check. Over 500,000 people have now tried Resident Evil 7 in VR, so they're talking about that. And Spatial brings AR gaming to the tabletop with a magic window. That's kind of interesting, this magic window idea. That's actually a good idea. I'm going to grab this trailer, guys. Hold on a second, because this is actually, I'm just seeing this now for the first time, never heard anything about it. But this is actually a good idea, because how many AR things have we seen that, you know, you're holding up a phone and you're holding up a phone and you're looking at your world and you're holding up a phone. And then obviously the logical movement from holding your phone like this all day long is to put glasses on your head. So the phone is on your head and you're just seeing everything. But this is kind of a pretty decent in between spatial holographic AR tabletop gaming. So I grabbed this video here. So I'm going to throw this on real quick and we can check this out live. This actually looks pretty freaking cool. Let me see. Where is this video? Spatial holographic AR tabletop gaming. This is something that Upload VR is talking about right now.
Spatial is a mixed reality gaming system that combines tabletop piece play with holographic projection. You control the digital world through a mix of movable play pieces, a built-in joypad, and holograms that come alive as you move around the table. It comes with a suite of exclusive games to get you started. So plug in your mobile device, say goodbye to clunky headgear, and say hello to Spatial.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not as cool as I thought it was. Looks like a really tiny little window there. It's probably a lot cheaper than Magic Leap, though.
Mixed reality gaming has arrived.
It's an interesting concept, certainly an interesting concept, but this is not as cool as I thought it was. I was thinking maybe the window would be even bigger, and you have to put these little icons out there, and it all looks very plastic and very, very cheap. So yeah, it's jittering around and stuff. Yeah, not as cool as I thought it was. And it looks, oh, do you have to put like a freaking tablet into it to make it work? Yeah, this looks pretty janky. Doesn't look that great. Okay, Sebastian says, I was in Prague to meet the VR Engineers, maker of X-Tau. Star VR Tram, I will meet soon. Sorry, my internet connection is bad. I am in a train. Okay. Yeah, Sebastian is going to work for us, meeting all these different people, bouncing all over the place. He's very involved in the European VR scene, to be sure. Crunchy says the benefit is that it won't be super expensive. Yeah, this little spatial thing, it can't be that expensive because it looks pretty cheap and crappy. I think it's an interesting idea. I mean, it would be a way to bridge the gap of just holding your phone out and actually, you know, putting something on your heads. It's kind of an in-between. Like, I like this idea of a magic window, but I think the window would have to be like double the size. And then you see these people on this table, like everybody has their little magic window device, and they all have tablets sitting on it that are like projecting it into the screen that they're looking at. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think it quite works here, but it's an interesting concept. I do believe there will be something that comes out of that category that could be interesting, but that's what they were talking about on Upload VR. Kind of looked cool for a second there. False alarm, folks. Oh wait, let me see what they're saying about it. It's a $60 product. It's a $60 device that plugs into your hardware and places it behind what it calls a magic window. Using a camera fitted to the device, this window removes your phone tablet from view and instead projects virtual images onto the surface in front of you as if you were simply looking through a plane of glass. So yeah, you got to use like your iPad 2 or your Samsung Galaxy 6 or Samsung Tab S2 or whatever. So you need all those devices as well. But hey, it's only $60. I guess it's a Kickstarter. So who knows if that will even make it through. It's a good idea, and maybe in the future that could be something pretty cool. They're also talking about unearthing Mars, which we saw the trailer for that, a surprise PSVR sequel next month. So this is coming next month. Yeah, September 18th. So that Unearthing Mars game is September 18th. So that looks pretty cool. Let me just double check subreddits real quick here. Just see we got any last minute news stories. Yeah, not really. So Megaton Rainfall, the move patch did come in. It's going to be interesting to see if everybody in the PSVR world, like when they try this Megaton Rainfall move patch, if they're going to be as disappointed as I was with motion controller support for Megaton Rainfall, because personally, I don't think it works. I think you're better off using a regular controller, sitting in your chair, and doing it normal style. That was my experience with it. What about Megaton Rainfall? Did anybody buy that? Is anybody playing that? Let me go back to chat real quick. Okay, Asterix Gaming says, very upset we don't have Resident Evil 7 for PC. A lot of people recommend Vorp X, though, so you might be able to do that. Scion VR says, more of a family thing, like playing a board game. Yeah, that's obviously what they're going for there. And I would love to play Risk. Like, I really love Risk. And so it'd be cool if I was like rolling dice and then you see your armies come in and they're, you know, they're like battling each other and you see the whole battle play out like right on the table in front of you. That would be kind of cool. Terry Blanchard says, nice. Wonder if it can network same effect. Crunchy says, looks better than that Star Wars VR headset. Yeah, although it requires your tablet. You know, it requires a tablet, so it requires a lot of gear. Dilbert Garcia is checking in. Unfortunately, Dilbert, we are about to end this show. Apologies for that. Did you talk Orbis Reborn? We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Hybrid Energy says he's playing Megaton with motion controls, but it gets hard. Mission 6 or 7 I'm stuck on. Wow, so you've actually got through all those missions with motion controls. I think you should try it maybe sitting down with a controller and compare the difference, because I really feel like that there's a nice difference. Fluke says it's been 25 years since he's played Risk. Dude, Risk is kind of awesome. Roy says reviews I saw were underwhelming for Megaton. I like Megaton, but it's not like the end all be all, you know, but if you're a War of the Worlds guy, I like it. So I do like it. Hilmar VR says, looks like a nice idea, but the future of VR will belong to complete and open platforms for hardware and software. This product seems to be completely isolated. Yep. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I need to bounce out of here. I'm trying to keep these shows under an hour. I think an hour is a bit much. I actually want to even make it a little bit shorter than that. But that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's show. This, of course, was Wednesday, August 15th, 2018. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, do all those good things, and I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And guess what, folks? Tomorrow, no Lawnmower Man, no Job, so there won't be all that noise in the background tomorrow, and we'll have other stuff to talk about then. See you guys then. Take it easy. Later.